seconded.
Let's consider the effects of drinking cold liquids after a meal. Cold liquids can solidify oily foods just consumed, which can slow the digestive process and turn to fat, eventually causing and leading to a heart attack and cancer. I thought this was interesting, so I looked at 2 clinical studies performed. One I found in an article in the Journal of American Medical Association titled The Oshosky Study. Dr. Carrieann analyzes data from clinical studies conducted in Japan on the consumption and mortality due to cardiovascular disease, cancer, and other causes in Japan. Dr. Itaru Argani in the Department of Food and Nutritional Sciences in the University of Suzuka and Yamatasu College in Japan also discusses the healthy benefits of consuming green tea in his site, Green Tea in Human Health. The Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, declared green tea to be useful in the reduction of CVD, cardiovascular disease. Clinical studies are still being performed and need to be completed before the FDA can actually approve this. The American Heart Association recommends taking steps to keep these risk factors low. And the American Cancer Society has actually proven in animal studies that tea consumption can reduce the risk of getting cancer. CVD, cardiovascular disease, and cancer are the 2 leading causes of death worldwide. The benefits of drinking warm liquids after a meal can actually prolong life expectancy. I thought this was interesting. So I discussed these results with a colleague of mine named Angela Lee. She's an Asian health specialist at the Barnabas Health Organization. She told me how growing up within the Asian culture, elders enforced drinking warm liquids as remedies, such as adding salt to warm water to soothe a sore throat, drinking warm water to relieve constipation, and even adding salt to warm water to brush your teeth. She stated, although Asian foods are very healthy, they're also very oily. I thought this was interesting, reflecting back to those clinical studies performed. Thinking, when you solidify consumed oils and drink cold water, you're shocking those oils. You're solidifying them, which does slow digestion. And it will turn to fat, causing blood clots, leading to cholesterol. And as per Dr. Ogani in his clinical study, he claims catechin, which is an ingredient found in green tea, actually prevents excessive buildup of blood cholesterol. His study showed significant reduction in deaths of CVD among green tea drinkers. So now that we've looked at the effects of drinking cold water after a meal, let's consider the effects that it can have on the body. Well, one of the effects of all of these things can actually be a heart attack. Did you know that your first heart attack may be fatal or even disabling? Most people think heart attack, you're going to feel a pain in your left arm. Actually, that's not true. Heart attack actually have a lot of other symptoms that people experience without left arm pain, such as jawline pain, which can wake you in your sleep. It's that painful. Nausea, intense sweating, and 60% of people who actually experience a heart attack in their sleep do not wake. The American Heart Association actually suggests preventing and assessing risk factors and taking the steps to keep these low as early as the age of 20. Therefore, by the time you get to the age of 40 to 70, when heart attack risk is actually the highest, you've actually taken these steps beforehand to prevent this. Now, let's consider another effect, cancer. So, high blood cholesterol foods, such as processed foods and red meats, can actually, they're linked to higher risk of getting certain types of cancer. Dr. Ogani claims catechin, that same ingredient found in green tea, can actually said to be effective to reduce the growth of cancer. Now the FDA cannot, given a warrant, cannot support this claim because human studies have actually been mixed. So they can't declare an award to this health claim to the makers of green tea. But the American Cancer Society actually claims that teas, such as green teas, have shown to reduce cancer risk in animal studies. And again, human studies are risk because you can't control what a human eats. We can't control our diet as well as we can control what we feed to an animal in a clinical study. We also go by other things such as smoking, drinking, and our family history. So therefore, it takes a little bit longer for human studies. So hopefully in 10 to 15 years from now, we'll have that FDA approval mark, and it will be more pushed for people to start drinking warm water such as tea. Let's take a look at what we just discussed. Tea is actually one of the most consumed beverages in the world aside from water. And there's three main types: green, oolong, and black. Taking this into consideration, within the Osaki study, they looked at green tea consumption, mortality due to cardiovascular diseases, cancer, and all causes in Japan. So several doctors actually looked at over 40,000 Japanese adults within a certain town. They also took into consideration within these adults between the ages of 40 to 79, no history of stroke. They followed them for a total of 11 years for all mortality. And they specifically looked more closer for 7 years for follow-up for a case-specific mortality. So they specifically looked at CVD, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and then all other causes. So they broke these categories up into men, women, how many cups of green tea they consumed in a day. 1 to 2, 3 to 4, and then 5 plus. They also took into consideration with both men and women such things as their background, their education background, their family histories, and the types of food that they consumed. So at the end of their study, we can actually see in this chart, in this graph, the dark color being for women and the light color being for men, that we can see that women and men both that consume more than 5 cups of green tea a day are significantly less at the end of their 11-year study compared to men and women that consume 2 or less cups of green tea a day. Taking a look at the results of this study, and we think about cold liquids solidifying what we just ate, digestive system health, leading to cancer or heart attack. I think about the Asian culture, what they've been doing for years, and I consider maybe it's time we start doing the same thing. What do you guys think?
Good.
Any questions?
Oh.
Go ahead.
No questions.
Okay, thank
I
you.
drink warm liquids all the time.
Oh, good. Good for you. I'm happy to hear
Room
that.
temperature.
Okay, go ahead.
What exactly in the tea that causes, do you know? Exactly?
Green tea, it's actually, they stated that it was actually, what they found in green tea that was actually linked to it was called catechin.
Okay.
So they actually found that it not only reduced the risk of having a stroke or a heart attack, but it also reduced the risk of getting cancer. So this is a very effective thing, not just in drinking a warm liquid, but it's an added, benefit to drinking a warm liquid, is that catechin. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yay!